so valley, so wishing our sun, where's our guide? Liver runs beneath the spirit of life, wishing up with pride, spirit of fire.
Today we're tying an Isonychia Mayfly, a must-have for any serious dry fly angler. These bad boys hatch in fast water, so they need to float high, land soft, and still look edible enough to fool a trout with commitment issues. We're tying this on an MFC standard dry fly hook in size 8, but I also like to tie these in size 10 and 12 as well. I'm using Veevus 8/0 thread in rust brown. It's strong enough to hold this fly together, but fine enough that it won't bulk up like a dad bod in the off season. We're going to secure this to the hook and clip off the excess. Next, we're going to grab some golden moose body hair. I prefer this color of moose hair over the traditional black and white that you find on most moose body. I feel that this color more accurately represents those of the dun wings of an Isonychia mayfly. We're going to separate out just a little bit more than the amount required for both wings, knowing that we're going to prepare this by stripping some of the fibers out. I pinch it about 2/3 of the way up, loosely hold it, and pull out the excess fibers, as well as the underfur. Prepping the hair this way is really going to keep this fly floating high. Any of that underfur that's left in is going to absorb water and make it less of a dry fly. We're going to add this to a hair stacker and tap it against our knuckle. I don't like beating it against the desk, as I see this makes unnecessary noise that other people don't appreciate. And it does not hurt to give it a little tap. Once the tips are aligned, we're going to remove the hair from the hair stacker and measure it to about a hook shank in length. We're going to transfer that measurement to our tie-in point. Using a couple pin traps, we're going to pull upwards on our thread to prevent the hair from spinning around the hook. After our hair is secured, we'll take a couple more thread wraps back to further secure it, pull up our excess, and trim it off at an angle to help us create a nice, even tapered body. Don't worry if you accidentally trap some hair fibers on the way back to the bend of the hook. We're going to be covering this body in dubbing, so we will have a chance to clip off any of these stray fibers before we dub the body, thus covering all of it. Anyways, more hair equals more buoyancy. We're going to run this thread back to just before the hook bend and above the barb. At this point, I'm going to spin up my thread and create a small dam. This thread dam is going to help prop up the tail and orient it to look like a proper mayfly dun. Here we'll be using some tan microfibbets for the tail. I like them. They're extremely durable, they hold up, and they kind of work like little outriggers to keep this fly floating high, especially in fast moving water. We're going to secure these using a couple pin traps to the top of the hook, wrapping forward a couple times to secure it further. And we're going to clip off our excess to help make that uniform tapered body. Using a few thread wraps, we can wrap forward and back, ensuring that we have a nice smooth taper. We'll wrap back to just before the hook tails. This gives us a little bit of room after we spin on our dubbing to work back and start our dubbing right at the tail. At this point, once the tail's secured, we can pull our fibers forward. They're extremely durable, so don't worry about breaking them. This helps orient them up even further. We'll grab them into two groups and pull them apart from each other, and grab some of our UV glue, putting a dab in between the tails and securing it. If only my fly casting looked that smooth. At this point, we'll take some dubbing wax. Here I'm using Wapsi, and we'll wax our thread. After our thread is waxed, we can grab some Superfine dry fly dubbing. Here I'm using Wapsi Mahogany, and we're going to pull this dubbing out so it's really sparse and roll it on really tight. Work with just a small amount of dubbing at a time. You can always add more, but it's really hard to take it away. We want a really thin tapered profile to make this mayfly look correct. We're trying to make this thing look like a black lab in its prime, not one of those old dogs that's been stealing a bunch of scraps from the table. Add some more wax if you need to, and add a small amount more dubbing if necessary. Ensure that you leave a little bit of room behind the hair wing, giving us room to tie in our hackle. At this point, we'll bring our thread forward to just behind the hair and separate the hair into 2 equal clumps. Using our thread, we'll take a wrap in between and then take a few wraps around to consolidate each group of hair. This does take practice, and it's not the easiest thing to do as a beginner. So don't get discouraged if you mess up. Keep trying and you will get it. 2 or 3 wraps should do, after which we can take 1 thread wrap over the hook shank, securing the hair in place and bringing it upright. After this, we can bring our thread forward to the next hair clump, and just like before, we'll consolidate this hair group together with 2 or 3 wraps, followed by a single wrap over the hook shank to bring the hair wing upright and secure it to the shank. At this point, we'll bring our thread back to our starting point and grab some brown hackle from Whiting Farms. We're going to strip about a 1/4 inch from the bottom of the stem and another 1/8 inch or so on the side that we're going to be wrapping towards. I'm going to secure this to the hook shank, ensuring we don't grab any of the hair fibers, taking 1 in front and 1 behind to bring the hackle upright. We'll wrap up behind our hair wing, and then we will jump our thread forward to in front of the hair wing to secure the stem furthermore. You can pull your hair wing back and grab a few more thread wraps to bring it to the front of where the head's going to be. We'll then grab our scissors and we'll clip off the excess stem. At this point, we're going to take the hackle and we're going to start hackling around the hook, ensuring we don't grab any of those hair fibers. I like to pull the hair wing forward to help get it out of the way. With each wrap, we're going to ensure that we don't grab fibers from the previous wrap so that it lays down smoothly. About 3 wraps behind the hair wing should do. At this point, we can pull the hair wing back, jump our hackle in front of it, and take a couple more wraps in front up to our thread. At this point, we'll take our thread, wiggle it up through the fibers, and secure it to the hook shank. 2 or 3 wraps behind the hackle. We'll secure it, and then we'll pull our hackle back, and we'll take a couple more securing wraps in front. At this point, we can grab our scissors and clip our hackle free. At this point, we'll grab our whip finish tool, and we'll add a few more thread wraps in front, securing the knot and creating a nice mayfly head. I pulled way too hard on this thread, but I wanted to leave it in the video as you can really see the integrity of these MFC hooks. pull up and secure, and we'll clip our thread free. Pull out any fuzzies, and if you want to, you can brush your hackle to push it out. We'll grab some UV glue, and we'll add a dab to the top, and another dab to the bottom of the head. This bottle is almost out, so it's a little bit hard to get out, and a little bit too much. That's okay. We'll take our bodkin tool, remove a little bit of the excess, smooth it out, and hit it with our UV light. That's it, folks. The Isonychia Mayfly. Deadly for trout, easy to tie, and guaranteed to make you look like you know what you're doing at the vise. Now go fish it, and if you hook a monster, send me some pics. Or drop a comment about a good fish story that you have fishing one of these Isonychia Mayflies. If you like this video, please leave us a like and a subscribe. I just started this channel, so even a little bit helps out quite a lot. Until next time, keep the vise spinning, the rods bent, and the beer cold. I'll see you out there.